Greetings. Welcome to the first SQL lesson. Lesson 1, Fundamental Concepts of Database System. Before I dive into SQL, first I will explain some fundamental concepts of database systems. Hence, in this lesson, I will discuss the main applications of database technology. Then, I am going to define the key terms. After that, I will explain elements of a database system, and finally I will give the overview of SQL and summarize the lesson. Applications of database technology. Big data applications. Data are everywhere and come in different shapes and volumes. Let us see some examples of large volume data. Walmart, America's largest retailer with over 11,000 locations worldwide, handles more than 1 million customer transactions every hour, which is imported into databases estimated to contain more than 2.5 petabytes of data. Facebook handles 40 billion photos from its user base. Large Synoptic Survey Telescope will generate 140 terabyte of data every 5 days. These data need to be stored and managed using appropriate data management or database technologies. Not just numeric and alphanumeric data, database systems can also store multimedia data such as pictures, audio, or video. Information is also gathered by wearables, such as a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, which continuously monitor and analyze your health and fitness. It is also used in geographical information systems, GIS, applications, for example, Google Maps. Database technology is also applicable in IoT applications. Key definitions. Now, let us define the three key terms: database, database management system, DBMS, and database system. So, what is database? Database is a collection of interrelated data, which is logically coherent with some inherent meaning. Represent some aspects of the real world, sometimes called the mini-world or the universe of discourse, UID. Has an intended group of users and applications. Let us consider a simple example that most readers may be familiar with. A university database for maintaining information concerning students, courses, and grades in a university environment. The university database will have data items like student, with properties such as student ID, name, address, email. Course with properties like course number, name and credit hour. Instructors with properties like ID, name, and address. Note that these data are interrelated as instructors offer courses, students enroll to courses, etc. Have a target group and application, e.g. university registrar and grading app, students, instructors, registrar officers. We said database represents some aspects of the real world. In this example, the universe of discourse, UID, represented by the database is some part of a university environment. Database management system, DBMS. Let us move to the second key term, DBMS. A database management system, DBMS, is a software package used to define, create, use, and maintain a database. Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, MS Access and PostgreSQL are some examples of DBMS. Popular DBMS vendors are Oracle, Microsoft, and IBM. MySQL is a well-known open-source DBMS. Database system. The term, database system, is often used to refer a combination of DBMS and database. DBMS and database are collectively called database system. Figure 1.1 illustrates some of the concepts we have discussed so far. The figure shows a simple database system environment. The cylinders at the bottom show the database, the first one is the actual collections of data. The database definition or descriptive information is stored in the form of a database catalog or dictionary. It is called metadata, as shown in the left cylinder. Above the stored database, DBMS software is shown. The DBMS is a general-purpose software system that facilitates the processes of defining, constructing, manipulating, and sharing databases among various users and applications. An application program accesses the database by sending queries or requests for data to the DBMS. A query typically causes some data to be retrieved. A transaction may cause some data to be read and some data to be written into the database. We call the database and DBMS software together a database system. Elements of a database system. Now, I will discuss basic elements of a database system such as database model, database schema, database state, data model, catalog, database users and database languages. Database model versus instances. Database model or database schema provides the description of the database data at different levels of detail and specifies the various data items, their characteristics and relationships, constraints, storage details, etc. It is specified during database design and not expected to change too frequently. It is stored in the catalog. Whereas, database state represents the data in the database at a particular moment. Begins with an initial state. Also called the current set of instance. Typically changes on an ongoing basis. Data model, another element of a database system. A database model comprises different data models, each describing the data from different perspectives. A data model provides a clear and unambiguous description of the data items, their relationships, and various data constraints from a particular perspective. Several types of data models will be developed during a database design process. A conceptual data model provides a high-level description of the data items, for example student, course, sections, with their characteristics for example ID, name, and relationships, for example student takes sections. It is used as a communication instrument between information architect and business user. Should be implementation independent, user-friendly, and close to how the business user perceives the data. It is usually represented using an enhanced entity relationship, EER, model, or an object-oriented model for example, UML. Logical data model. Logical data model is a translation or mapping of the conceptual data model toward a specific implementation environment. It can be a hierarchical, codicil, relational, object-oriented, extended relational, XML, or NoSQL model. Internal data model. Internal data model represents the data's physical storage details. It clearly describes which data are stored where, in what format, which indexes are provided to speed up retrieval. Catalog, another element of a database system. Catalog is the heart of the DBMS. It contains the data definitions, or metadata, of your database application. It stores the definitions of the views, logical and internal data models, and synchronizes these three data models to make sure their consistency is guaranteed. Database users. Let's see the different types of database users. Information architect. Information architect is the one who designs the conceptual data model. He or she closely interacts with the business user. Database designer, another database user, translates the conceptual data model into a logical and internal data model. Database administrator, DBA. DBA is responsible for the implementation and monitoring of the database. Application developer, another database user, develops database applications in a programming language such as Java or Python. Business user, another database user, will run these applications to perform specific database operations. Database languages. Every DBMS comes with one or more accompanying database languages. The data definition language, DDL, is used by the DBA to express the database's external, logical, and internal data models. These definitions are stored in the catalog. The data manipulation language, DML, is used to retrieve, insert, delete, and modify data. DML statements can be embedded in a general-purpose programming language, or entered interactively through a front-end querying tool. SQL offers both DDL and DML statements for relational database systems. The rest of this course focus on SQL. Before finalizing this lesson, I will give a general overview of SQL. So, what is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. SQL lets you access and manipulate databases. SQL became a standard of the American National Standards Institute, ANSI, in 1986, and of the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, in 1987. What can SQL do? Using SQL you can execute queries against a database, retrieve data from a database, insert records in a database, update records in a database, delete records from a database, create new databases, create new tables in a database, create stored procedures in a database, create views in a database, set permissions on tables, procedures, and views. SQL commands. SQL commands can be grouped into 5 major categories depending on their functionality. 1. DDL, Data Definition Language. 2. DML, Data Manipulation Language. 3. DQL, Data Query Language. 4. TCL, Transaction Control Language. 5. DCL, Data Control Language. For now I will give you a quick overview on each SQL command category. Then, in the following lessons, we will see each one in detail with practical examples. Data Definition Language, DDL, is the first SQL command category. These SQL commands are used to create, modify, and drop the structure of database objects like table, view, procedure, indexes, etc. In this category we have create, alter, drop and truncate commands. Data Manipulation Language DML is the second category. These SQL commands are used to store, modify, and delete data from database tables. In this category we have insert, update, and delete commands. Data Query Language, DQL, is the third category. These SQL commands are used to fetch/retrieve data from database tables. In this category we have only sealed command. Transaction Control Language, TCL, is the fourth category. These SQL commands are used to handle changes which affect the data and database. Basically we use these commands within the transaction or to make a stable point during changes in database at which we can roll back the database state if required. In this category we have SavePoint, Rollback and Commit commands. Data Control Language, DCL, is the fifth SQL command category. These SQL commands are used to implement security on database objects like table, view, stored procedure, etc. In this category we have grant and revoke commands. This is the end of lesson 1. To summarize, we begin with the basic applications of database technology. Then, we define some key terms like database, DBMS, and database system. After that, we move to the basic elements of database system, such as database schema, data model, catalog, database users, and database languages. Finally, we saw the overview of SQL. We learn what SQL is, what SQL can do, and the different types of SQL commands such as DDL, DML, DQL, TCL and DCL. Thank you. I will see you in the next video.